the women celebrities in this country, most of them are sex workers. If they have to sleep with producers, they have to sleep with whatever. If you see someone that's famous and it seems like they're getting ahead, who are they sleeping with at MultiChoice? Who are they sleeping with at SABC? Or who has influence there for them to get that bag and do it consistently and to be such a terrible presenter, but they're always getting the job.
Yeah.
You understand? Because all the girls that we're seeing that are getting famous are either getting shat on in Dubai, getting boob jobs from guys or whatever. All of them are just selling their bodies, selling their beauty, selling their youth.
Nkululeko on Cultr.
Nkululeko on Cultr. Hello and welcome to yet another episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Shout out to Gaugelo, also known as Essence, for always doing great job on the videography. And of course, a huge shout out to Lebogang Mazambi. Lebogang Kosi was our producer as well. Before we start the episode, Nota, I just want to say I'm so sorry that our episode was fucked last time. It was such a dope conversation, but we lost the sound. And I thank you very much as well for joining us today.
No, thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously it was a little sound issue, but I mean, like, the content was amazing. People enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the response is like, yeah, people weren't too bothered about the sound too much because they could hear it. At least it was audible. So thank you for the salvage job that you guys were able to do with the camera audio.
Yeah, nice one. Goku or Vegita?
That's a tough one, hey?
Is it
because
tough?
Yeah, it is tough because I mean, I watched all of Dragon Ball Z, so I watched Vegeta go from villain to hero. Vegeta.
You are a fucking Vegeta yourself.
Well,
like you
my
are.
hairline.
Besides the visual aesthetic.
That's the reason why I chose him. I thought, okay, let me have sympathy for someone with a similar hairline.
Yeah, because you're a super villain with good intentions, but
No.
they're not always clear.
No. I'm very much a Goku.
Is it?
I'm very much, dude. Think about it. If you need anything from me, if you need a contact or whatever, you need
Yes.
I'm helpful. I'm always there to help people. As far as like, becoming aggressive, that is something that I had to put on. So, Goku, if he has to go against Frieza.
Cell, Frieza, Majin Buu, your favorite villain?
Frieza.
I liked Frieza. I liked the Frieza saga.
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Majin Buu had nothing to say. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But actually,
Yeah.
my favorite villain in Dragon Ball Z actually is Piccolo.
Why?
Because at the start of Dragon Ball Z, he was the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Was he fighting?
yeah,
he came from Namek,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He came from Namek and he was a different
Yeah,
person.
exactly.
And he was fighting and eventually he became their friend.
friends with Goku, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's interesting. But
Yeah.
Frieza's dialogues are fucking boss. They are fucking
Dude,
boss.
yeah, dialogue.
If you're a language geek, that's fucking dope. Like, Frieza's dialogue is beautiful.
Dude.
I like Majin Buu, though. I like the fact that he's pink. I like that Frank Ocean sings about him occasionally. I like his color and the fact that he morphs into different Majin Buus. But like you're saying, there's no dialogue. He doesn't really say much, but it's very difficult to beat.
That's the thing. It's very difficult to beat, but I just like the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like Frieza. Yo.
One of the things I've been obsessed with recently, as I'm speaking to different guests, is, and of course, unfortunately, because you guys are public figures, and myself included in other aspects, in other respects, is what makes people gravitate to content that they don't like? Why is it that niggas watch things that they don't like and comment on them?
No.
The reason why I ask that question...
No one likes something they don't like. If you ask people, do you like porn? What will they say?
I like it.
Okay, but a lot of people don't even admit to watching it.
I like it.
No,
I've
but
watched
just saying, a lot of people don't admit to watching it.
Yeah, it's not
You know
socially
what I mean?
acceptable to admit that.
You don't have a bumper sticker of saying Pornhub on your car.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, again, when it comes to negativity bias is just people love car crashes. You understand what I'm saying? We love watching a car crash. Like, what's the most exciting part of a Formula One race?
Oh yeah, the crash. Nicholas Latifi on the 47th lap, he's crashing.
Any crash
He
is
fucks up the race for everyone else.
You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, well, for Lewis Hamilton, but he like at the end of the day, That's the negativity bias. No one likes the crash. No one likes Latifi, but that's what people were talking about. That's what,
And it's the reason
that's
why
that's
Lewis
the emotional
Hamilton didn't win the
response.
championship last year. It's the reason why Lewis Hamilton didn't win the championship, and he would have been the first black guy to win the most championships in the history of Formula One.
No. Look. Let's put it to you like this, right? Let me put it to you like this. The reason why Lewis Hamilton didn't win the championship last year is because, strategy. They relied too much on their strategy, and he should have taken a bigger risk, but he didn't take the risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and
he had an opportunity.
whether or not they allowed those other cars
To unlap themselves.
to unlap themselves would have been irrelevant, because they would have been lapped by Verstappen, and he had fresher tires anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yo, that was so tragic, bro. That
but
was so tragic.
he passed him so early into the lap.
Because you could
It made that whole entire thing irrelevant at the end of the day.
but
Let's be
you
honest.
knew that because Lewis Hamilton is on 20-something year lap old tires and Max has fresh tires, this is a no contest.
Yes.
It's gonna end in one way.
But he should have lapped. He should have pitted.
He led, man. I
I
sympathize with him
understand.
because he led so many laps.
Yes, but he
at
should
the
have
time.
pitted.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity for him to pit, and he should have pitted. He should have pitted, put himself right behind,
Yeah, Max.
and then restart with even fresher tires than Max, and use that advantage. But he didn't.
Remember, Oguti, the context is that Max was so aggressive every time he was over throughout.
I know. I watched that race.
Every
I
time
watched
he
that
was
race.
being
I watched that
overtaken
race,
by
and
Hamilton.
when I said he needs to pit right now, and
Yeah.
he didn't, and then I said, okay, he's gonna lose it.
That's a fresh point of view. I've never heard someone being for him pitting, as you are saying, and
he
it
should
makes
have
sense.
pitted.
Mina, I was like, go for the safe route. You're good.
No,
You're number
you
one.
need to go for the risk, because this guy's gonna be on fresher tires.
Fuck Nicholas Latifi.
You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is this, is had he pitted, right, the safety car would have been out a lap earlier. There would have been 2 laps.
Is there any, because you are a very, very smart dude, and I've said this so many times to you, is there any part of you that says Liberty and F1 concocted those circumstances so that Max becomes the champion? Because it was illegal for Charlie which is the
Messi.
Messi.
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Messi.
Messi.
Yes. Who's the race director, to allow those cars to unlap themselves and not allow the race to end like that. Because I think in the rules it was like, allow those guys the race to end like that because we only have 1 lap left. There's no need for you guys to go racing with 1 lap. Is there anything in you that says this was rigged?
Nah. For me, we want racing. Number 2 is that there's a whole new championship the next year.
Yeah.
Lewis has won the championship 7 times.
I needed
You
him to
understand?
win it 8 times.
Just
To quell the Europeans' argument that
there's
Michael
no need.
Schumacher has won 7.
He won
and-
more races than Michael Schumacher.
Yes, I know. More laps, more races, more poles.
So I mean, him having 7 championships to Michael Schumacher 7 as well is still a mean feat.
You know,
There's
it
nothing wrong.
would easily kill arguments to say, oh, well.
All I'm saying
he
is
has
that
8
for
and he
me,
has 7.
Lewis Hamilton, right, was black for convenience. The whole entire thing. The Black Lives Matter, let's kneel and everything else. He did that to get us in. And then this year, what does he do? He wants to take his white mother's surname. That is the most anti-black thing. Now you want to use a white woman's surname. So you want to emasculate your father,
Who's been there
who
from the
already has a
beginning.
slave name. His
Yeah.
name is Hamilton, the name of his slave owner. And then you want to erase his surname instead of finding out your true heritage, where you guys come from the continent, you know. So just like it's like Lewis. I think he's consumed by wokeness. So all these distractions of this wokeness and everything else, and now like look, I felt hard done by on the race because I was supporting it.
Yo, it was so difficult.
I felt hard done by, but like after assessing it and everything else, I mean, like the emotional reaction while watching sports in the moment. Yes, you're very emotional and everything else, and that's normal. You know, that's a normal reaction. Like sports stars don't look at people's tweets after a match and take them personally, because that's just an emotional reaction and that's it. But sports stars also, they're not like musicians where your commentary on like how I played a game, right, affects whether I'm talented or not. Whereas with a musician, your commentary on my singing basically affects your opinion on whether I've got an ability to sing, and also because a lot of people can't even sing.
Yeah.
The seismologists have come into play with Antares and auto-tune and pitch correction and everything else. So like you don't even really need to be able to sing a song or to be on a song where you sound decent.
We're talking about people gravitating towards content that they don't like. Let me just hear me out a little bit. I've consumed a lot of books, just as you have, and I consume a lot of music, thousands and thousands of songs in my lifetime, just as you've had. I don't consume what I don't like. What makes do you mean to say that the people that are always on your case or on my case, on whoever content creator's case about negativity, do they genuinely from the bottom of their hearts like it? They're just pretending that they don't like it. Why are they there? Because I don't get that mentality, because I don't consume anything I don't like.
Okay. So, who gets the most negativity? Customer care, right? Now, for someone to call customer care, they need to be a customer first. Would they buy the product if they didn't like it? Their dislike for their service or their product satisfaction is based on the fact that they had an expectation.
In the first place.
No, they had an expectation, right? That wasn't met. You understand what I'm saying? It's like when you like someone, when you like a girl, you've got an expectation of her, and then you realize that no, she's got no personality and all that stuff like that. You understand? And then, but the initial attraction came from you liking this person. So that's the whole entire thing. Someone engages because they like something, and because they've got an unmet expectation or something that disappoints them or whatever, then they come out with like a criticism or a negative comment. But I think
so. Originally, those people are your fans.
Anyone who engages is a fan. You wouldn't engage unless you're a fan. People watch Days of Their Lives every single day, but they hate Brooke Logan. Why? They love her. You understand what I'm saying? They love her.
That's a dope perspective.
They love her. Like Brooke Logan, Generations, and Siki Lukele.
Yeah, they criticize it, but that's the one character.
That's who they watch for.
Yeah, interestingly, let me just segue into something related to that. When they kill off Stefano Di Mero every time on The Bold and the Beautiful, the ratings go down, so that then they have to go and renegotiate with him. He must come back to the show. And there's a reason why the ratings drop. But the niggas that are watching it are saying, I don't like him. But when he's not there, they don't watch. That's an interesting perspective.
That's the thing. We like to watch a cockroach. That's the negativity bias. We can't put our eyes away. There's an accident on this side of the N1, and then this side there's traffic, but there's no accident. Why? Because everybody wants to see the car crash. So that's the negativity bias that people just love watching. They can't look away.
How would you describe yourself then as a content consumer? Do you like? I'm trying also in a way put a mirror on myself to say, I am arguing that I don't like shit, that I don't watch things that I don't like.
No, I don't either.
I don't.
No, I don't.
And I don't get how. But I get your point of view. It makes perfect sense. But why would people do that?
Look at the comments that the content that I consume. I consume business content, science content. You know what I mean? Right now I'm listening to something about physics. You don't see me sharing that on my social media. Why? Because nobody's interested in the stuff that I'm interested in. No one is interested in the stuff that I'm interested in. I know that very well. So also, I can also curate. And another thing that people don't understand is that, apart from just curating or knowing what content will get a reaction, like people also forget that I've been in the entertainment industry for almost 2 decades. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen this business. I know this business. Dude, I'm not joking when I say I'm the foremost music business expert in South Africa. I've done it, and, a lot of people have got a pressure to like, okay, fine, you've done it, do it again. I don't need to do it again. I've done it better than anybody's ever done it. If I need to do it again, someone needs to do it better than me, and then I'll need to beat that. But until they reach the level that I've reached, there's no there's nothing for me to prove. There's nothing for me to do. So a lot of people like to knock at you. And I encourage that, because the more they knock at me, the more I stand the test of time, the more I'm tested, the more people criticize me. It's like, damn it, how long? They've been criticizing this guy for like 2 years straight. His followers are growing. His engagement is growing. His numbers is growing.
Yeah.
Everything he says seems to be proving itself true over time.
Yeah.
He makes the calls, and then that's what happens. He controls the whole entire industry. He controls people's reactions. He controls how things work. And like what I've been able to do is, like, for me, I just wanted to cut the credibility of South African celebrity culture. And it took me since last year to do that. And I've been doing that slowly but surely. But now, like, people don't believe in South African celebrities anymore. Because what I saw is that, a lot of the South African celebrity culture was fake. The casting directors are putting on their girlfriends or girls they want to smash on TV. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then those are the people that you see their faces on TV screens. So then what happens to the girls that are now aspiring, that have got talent and everything else? They realize that, oh, damn it, I need to now sleep my way to the top, because everybody's sleeping their way to the top. It's not a joke. People are sleeping their way to the top. Yeah. And if everyone you see on TV slept their way to the top, and your daughter or your niece wants to be on TV, then what is she saying to you? She's saying that, hey, I'm willing to sleep my way to the top to become like these people that we're idolizing, because I see that it gets them far in life. And I can't just sit back and watch that, because it's my niece that will be up there next. You know what I mean? It's someone in your family that will be sexually exploited to be part of this industry next. And it goes unchecked, unchallenged. No one is calling it out, Why would men call it out when they're benefiting from it, or their friends are benefiting from it, or whatever? Why would women call it out when it can get them ahead? You know what I mean? And then you look at the pretty politics, and then you wonder why Celeste Ntuli is not as far as all these other girls. It's because she's not giving it up.
And she's sharper than them.
She's much sharper than any of them. You understand what I'm saying? Much sharper, And you look at a lot of these people, like, look at podcasting right now. Why are these it girls not podcasters? Because they're sex workers. Seriously. That's their skill. That's their talent. You understand? To be sexually objectified. That's it. That's the sexual objectification. If you look at their Instagram profiles, it's, I am a sexual object. I'm an object of your desire. Desire me, like my things and everything else. That's what they're advertising. It's not what I'm saying. It's what I'm seeing. I'm an observer of this behavior. You look at all of these it girls, all of the celebrities, whatever, all of them are selling sex. All of them are selling sex. You understand what I'm saying? So the young girls, now they're blaming Mark Zuckerberg, saying, no, you're giving girls a bad image of themselves. No. Mark Zuckerberg has never posted himself naked on Instagram. Yeah. He created the platform, right? The people who are posting themselves naked are the Kardashians and all these types of, they're the ones who are badly influencing girls. And the thing is this, is that women need to at some point understand that, okay, you're going to have a daughter. Do you want to influence her like that? Kim Kardashian doesn't mind influencing her daughter to become a sex worker. It's clearly because she's a sex worker herself. That's how she became famous. She became famous because of a sex tape. That is sex work. She got paid from the sex tape. The other participant in the sex tape has told us that they got paid for that. Ray J. So now we know that, okay, Kim Kardashian is a sex worker. She's a porn star. She's a porn star that made one tape that went viral. And as a porn star, if you only need one tape to go viral, to become famous, and then you can convert your porn stardom into other facets of celebrity, then, that's great on you. That's a good hustle. But at the end of the day, you're a porn star. So there are girls now that are porn stars because of OnlyFans. All these girls, okay, I can make a quick buck on OnlyFans. Yeah. Let me make how much money I want to make. Quick, make all this money. And then you realize, okay, I get older, and now my son or my daughter needs to be exposed to an ad of me in a sex tape on Roblox, and then think to himself, how many of my other classmates at school have seen this on Roblox? I don't even know what Roblox is. But the kids are allegedly addicted to it.
Social media.
I don't know what it is. I'm too old. I don't have kids as well. But people with kids know what Roblox is, because that's what they spend all their money on. I don't know. People are always complaining, Roblox cost me this much. My kid bought this much. What? I don't know what they're buying. How do kids have credit card access on their games? I don't know how these games of today work. But when I have my own kids, I'm not going to allow them to have any games that allow them to use my credit card. So that's what's happening. And then they're growing up to realize, oh my goodness, my history of sex work when I was younger is now catching up to me with my kids. And the things that the internet hasn't been around, OnlyFans hasn't been around long enough for you to be on OnlyFans and then realize that you will regret it when you become a mom. You know what I mean? But the Kardashians have been around long enough for us to know that that sex tape that she did with Ray J is now regrettable now that she's a mother. Now she's crying over it. Now she doesn't want her kids to be exposed to it, right? And now, but we've made this whole entire family famous. We made them all billionaires and everything else. And only now we're realizing that, damn it, we allowed this white sex worker to capture the black audience and basically model and role model, you know, black womanhood and consumerism for all of us. You know what I mean? And the only reason why we accepted her is because she's white. Had it been Brandy in that sex tape, Ray J's sister, that would have been the end of her singing career.
I believe you, and I agree with
you. You understand what I'm saying? And look at where Brandy is right now. Is Brandy a billionaire? So look at us as black people. We're able to elevate Brandy's stylist who slept with Brandy's brother and made a sex tape, made her famous, to now be richer than Brandy. So that she can go there and tell girls that you need to work harder. We
give her a round of applause.
People are like, hold on. Yeah. Is this girl gonna tell us we need to work harder? Yes, like her white privilege, her sex worker history has nothing to do with the fact, you know what I mean? And her mom being a pimp in that regard. She's the manager of the sex worker.
Nah, I can't dispute that.
It's the facts. You know what I mean? There's nothing malicious being said about that. It's what we're watching. And the things that when we don't call it out, the young women that are watching thinking, oh, this is normalized, I can get away with this. You understand what I'm saying? There's no money that's worth your dignity.
Yeah.
There's no money that's worth your dignity. You know what I mean? The thing about porn is that I started by saying no one admits to watching porn. No one admits to watching porn.
I watch porn.
No, but I'm saying,
like, I get it. I get what you're saying.
People don't admit to watching porn.
It's not socially acceptable to say.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not socially acceptable, and anyway, but also it's addictive.
Yeah.
And it's distracting. You understand what I'm saying? If you watching porn too much, you know, you lose impetus of, like, you know, pursuing
the stimulation that you get
everything
from real
you know what I mean? It's like
it's
just we're overstimulated, and now there's just too much access to it on Twitter. Anytime you search, because I don't follow anyone, right? All I see is trending topics. So when I search on a trending topic, I know that within 20 posts of me scrolling down, there's going to be someone that's selling their body, selling WhatsApp, selling hookups, selling what. You understand what I'm saying? There's someone who, even because my numbers are public, someone even sent me like, yo, such and such is available, whatever, with pictures and everything else. I didn't even open I just blocked immediately. But I'm just saying, like, that's how brazen they are.
Can we take it back to South African entertainment, as we're speaking about entertainment now?
Yeah.
These deaths, man, particularly black men that are killing themselves, Patrick Shy, Riky, and so many others. And I think there was a recent one with an actor from Komora, Ustumo. What do you think that comes from? What's happening?
It's because we're killing black men. We're killing black men. We don't understand that this world, we're saying, okay, let's balance out the world. Let's fight for the rights of women, right? But women are not the only ones who are oppressed. Black men have also been oppressed.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that we've been able to separate black society into black women and black men and then have them have their own struggles is stupid. As black people, right? As a black woman, you need a black man to make you. You understand what I'm saying? So your struggle is not separate from the black man that made you. You understand? And as a black man, you need a black woman to give birth to you. So your struggle is not separate from the black woman that gave birth to you. So as black people, we need to stop this culture war that these corporations have got us under, because black women are the only ones that are getting famous for degrading black men. People talk, oh, Kevin Samuels, he degraded black. Kevin Samuels was one man. Every black woman on TikTok that has got however million followers that doesn't dance or sing degrades black men. Everything is about degrading black men. If you watch series from Girlfriends, my girlfriends, you understand? Yes, okay, fine. There was it's about degrading and emasculating black men, because look at the man that is around them. He's almost emasculated. He's feminite, in terms of his demeanor. And then all the other men that they engage with are either bad boys, they break their hearts and everything else. And this guy who's a good friend and everything else, they overlook him. So the good, decent black man, right, is ignored in society. You understand? We don't even look at him. And then we look at the destructive or toxic black men, and those are the ones that get all their attention, and those are the ones that get all the women attracted to them because they want to fix them or whatever. They want to repair them. They want to say, I want to turn Future into Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? And it's like black women think that black men are a project. No, we're not a project. We're partners in this life thing. And so that's another thing. It's like black women are being told the media is really doing a job on us. Like if your partner or your wife is on Instagram or anything else, those things have got more influence on her than you. Right? So the content that she watches on Instagram is telling her, oh, you don't need a man. You're good when you're single and everything else. And these things are playing on her mind. That's what the media is telling her. You go into TikTok, oh, men are trash. Men are this, men are this, men are this, men are this. Yes. She's saying that about other men, even though her man opens the door for her, is a gentleman, provides for her and everything else, And now when her man does that, she feels like, oh no, he's trying to own me. As if he's trying to, no, he's just being a partner and being supportive, We don't see women actually praising their men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think even just to add on that, at a political level, or if you look at history, there's never been a time in history, particularly in recent history, where black men have enslaved groups of people, including black women. We've never colonized people.
Well, no, we have. No, we have.
In recent history.
Look, for me, race is irrelevant, right? Race is irrelevant. We enslave people right now. I mean, a lot of people, black people in South Africa, have got maids from Lesotho. Now, you're paying those people less than you would pay someone who's from South Africa. That is slave labor. If you're paying someone
I get that.
less than a decent living wage, is slave labor. So we do enslave. We enslave our own people, right? The whites also did the same thing. They also had slaves. All of us have had a slave history. The losers in war become slaves. We kill the women, we take the men as slaves. That's always been the case. Whether it be on the African continent, and it actually started on the African continent, there would have been no slave trade had it not been a trade, had there not been slaves actually. You understand? And those, especially like in West and East Africa, there were big slave traders. Those kingdoms became rich. Ghana is rich because of slave trade. That was their biggest export. It was slaves. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they were making money on. So there were black people that were making money off the slave trade, just as much as there were Europeans that were making money off the slave trade. You know what I mean? So slaves have always been slaves. The fact that, our skin colors differ because of our UV exposure doesn't make us different genetically. The human genome is one thing. We're all the same. Doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Australasia or whether you're in Mexico. You know what I mean? Whether you're an Aborigine in Australia or you're an Aztec or an Inca in Mexico. You know what I mean? We're all the same genetically. The fact that we use slavery or we use slave labor to produce things, right, is also how our economies have been built. South Africa has been built on slave labor. Even right now, we are enslaving people in South Africa. If you go to any restaurant, they've got Zimbabwean, Malawian slaves working. Working for free because they don't get paid salaries. They're not on the employee list because they only get paid in tips, and that it serves them. So now when Julius Malema comes to join the inspection and he says, okay, let me see how many South Africans you hire, all the people that they actually hire are South Africans. Yes, that's true. But there's more people working than those that are hired. And those people that are working are all slaves. They're all slave labor. They don't have rights. They don't have UIF. They don't have protection and anything else. And as soon as you're not protected by your labor law, you're a slave.
I don't want us to be bogged down with definitions, but maybe just on that, since you've mentioned that, would you say then South Africans in mass or black South Africans in mass are participating in the slavery of other races?
Yes, because we've been slaves for so long.
In mass.
And in mass.
So black South Africans in mass.
Yes.
The majority of black South Africans are participating in the enslavement of others.
Yes.
How?
We are participating in the enslavement of others because we are perpetuating this slavery. We're not
instigating it, we're perpetuating it.
we're perpetuating. We're participating in it. We're benefiting from it. Where we benefit from it. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is that a minority of us will benefit from it, right? And because a minority of us will benefit, will justify why the rest of us should suffer from it. So Cyril Ramaphosa is a slave owner. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's been brought up to the same level as the white slave owners. He owns shares in the companies that enslave people. Enslave people,
Yeah.
right? And because our economy was built on slave labor, the slaves that we sent underground to dig out the minerals that actually supply us with the electricity that we have, because those are the people that pay taxes. The mining companies, those are the people that actually pay taxes in the country. That's why they've got so much influence on the government, because the government only taxes them. Everybody else's tax is minuscule. You understand? If you look at the tax revenue that comes from the minerals industry, that's where the government makes its money. The problem with South Africans, and especially black South Africans, is that a lot of us think that tax revenue or the fiscus is the money of the country, is the nation's wealth, right? And the fiscus is just what is taxed from the value creators, from the wealth producers. We are not participating in the production of wealth. We are participating in the looting of the collection of revenues that contributes to our country's fiscus. So we want the tenders, because the budget for the tenders comes from the fiscus. We want that's what we're into. Name any black businessman in South Africa, right, who has built a company from ground up, right, that is of prominence. That company did not benefit from the fact that, it was extracting from the fiscus, or that it was funded because it was doing government projects. You know what I mean? There isn't. There's a guy, what's his name? Mike Teke. Yeah, he's in coal mining and everything else. He was on SABC News the other day talking about, I mentor kids and mentor me. I'm looking at this guy, I'm thinking, this guy is a centi-millionaire worth a couple $100 million, and I would never ask him to mentor me. Why? Because all he knows is that I'm politically connected with my friends and everything else, and then therefore I can participate in certain deals. And because of my participation in these deals, right, I can get funding for my projects. Because how do you get funding in this country? I say, okay, Nkululeko, are you willing to buy 10,000 editions of this imaginary Disky Times if I ever make it? Sure. And then you say yes, you send me a letter to prove that. I go to a funding organization, IDC, I say, listen, this guy's going to buy 100,000 of these things. Please give me the funding so that I can put together a printing press. And then they give me the funding, and then I provide you with the project. But I don't even need to provide you with the project. I just need to say that there's interest from you. And that interest from you is enough for me to get funding from IDC. You understand? And that's all it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting segue, but let's take it back then to the original. The original is the death of black entertainers, particularly men.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's it. It's
I know. We segued into
the problem is because we don't have access to capital. Why? Because we don't have the information that can get us there, and that information is limited, and few black men are willing to share it. I'm willing to share it.
Yeah, I have to say that, just please, before you continue, you've been so exemplary in availing yourself from different podcasts. I know the way that you say you give information is aggressive to bitch niggas, people that are not used to that style of dissemination of information. You're like a Dame Dash. It took me between ages of 20 to 30 to eventually say, oh, this guy is important, I need to listen to Dame Dash more, as opposed to be more offended.
Exactly.
And that's like the growth and the maturity. I think just on that you're just saying that you disseminate information, you give out your time for free. I've listened to you speak on community radio stations, to speak on small platforms that you don't need to be participating on. And I that's why I said the first time I spoke to you that you are very, very important. Whether or not niggas are taking offense to this or that, I think you are very, very important, because there are black millionaires, as you say, that will never give the time of day to give us advice, to talk to us.
But they can't. Why? Because they're not there on businesses that they've built. They're there because of patronage. They're there because they know someone, because of connections.
Yeah.
So if they tell you that they got here because of connections, you lose all respect for them. So they need to keep up this pretense. And to keep up this pretense, they need to just stay silent and continue reaping the benefits of being the black face of progress. But there's no excellence. There's no black excellence. Name one person that has been produced by a university in South Africa that you can say, oh, this guy's a UCT graduate. He's great. He's done all these amazing things. If you go to the United States, they'll tell you, yeah, this Mark Zuckerberg was a Harvard, a thingamajig
Are
went
you
to
speaking
University
on a
of
level of
Pennsylvania.
doing something that
anything.
that has
Since
cultural
1994, no, that has global impact. Name
okay.
one
Global
global
impact is
leader.
a different scale,
Name one
obviously.
global leader that we've produced out of any of our universities.
Yeah, global. We have people that speak on platforms, but it's not like they
Haven't done anything.
Yeah, it's not
they
like
haven't done anything.
created
So you
global
get to
products.
that level, and then you become a Ricky Rick, and you're famous. People love your songs, and then you start a cotton fest because you've got white friends that have got an idea that need a black face to actually commercialize it, and therefore you can die, kill yourself, and the cotton fest will continue because it's owned by these white people. You understand? Who were using you so that they can get all these black artists on their lineup for free.
Can you please
And now you have to keep up that pretense. You need to keep it up. It becomes like a noose around your neck. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's the whole entire thing. You know, it's like YFM. YFM is owned by Johan Rupert. But it's like, oh, this is a bastion of black excellence. This is what launched Thingamajig. This is what launched Kwaito and everything else.
Fresh
But
and
we
this
don't
one and
we
that
don't
one.
own it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not for us.
Yeah.
If it's not for us, then what can it be? Against us. It's against us. It's in opposition to what we are. Why? Because these same people ignore the communities that they say that they're servicing. Why aren't they taking these music festivals to the townships where people actually consume the music, where actually the culture is created and everything else? Why isn't it the people that are of the culture that are starting these things? Because they don't have the access, they don't have the connections. And in South Africa, you need to have connections because it's a small economy, it's a mafia economy, you know, that's owned by certain mafias. And if you're in the know or you know the certain people, then, you know, you've made it. And if you're not in the know, then they cancel you, then they stop you from gaining opportunities, then they don't put you on SABC because, you know, you might say something and everything else.
Yeah.
Me, they can't do that to me. Why? Because they know that if they put me on their platform, people know me, people resonate with me, the ratings go all the way up. They're seeing it on YouTube. They put people who've been on TV for how many years on YouTube and they don't get the same numbers of me. I get more numbers than a Somizi. But they say, oh no, he's the most celebrated and what person in on TV. No, he just has probably naked pictures of God or something. He's blackmailing somebody to get ahead because there's no way that that MultiChoice or DSTV would take someone who's a convicted sex offender, who's now going to be published on the National Sex Offenders List, and then make them the presenter or the judge on a family show like Idols. And not look two ways about it, and then do a reality show where this person is gaslighting someone who is an alleged abuse victim and getting other celebrities to now dish on their ex-partner and all of that. It's messy, it's disgusting, and it's on TV, it's on Showmax, it's there for everybody to see. You understand what I'm saying? And what does it? It shows black people at their worst. They are committed to showing us at their worst. Who owns these platforms? Who owns MultiChoice?
Is it Nespers or whatever?
You understand? Same thing I was saying about YFM. Are they for it or are they against us?
Yeah. Just on some easy before we move on. Convicted sex offender. That's factual, right?
Yes. Convicted sex offender is a judge on Idols, a family show which you can watch with your kids. And therefore, the kid that's watching knows that if I commit a sex offense, as long as I've got someone up there who likes me, I'm uncancelable. And I can do it. So if you're watching there and your child might be the victim of a sex offender, right? Just know that that sex offender thinks that they can get away with it because of people like Somizi.
Any possibility of circumstantial exoneration of him? What was the circumstances that led to his arrest? I'm sure it's for
he gave a waiter a lift. He gave a waiter a lift,
Yeah.
and then he fondled him, and then that waiter opened a charge, and then he was convicted.
Okay, there we go.
I'm
And I've heard you
well-known.
speak
I'm a
on
well-known
this, yeah.
person. Yeah, I've spoken about
heard
it
you
many
speak on
times.
this, yeah.
I'm a well-known person. Someone wants to get a lift. Oh, they're like, oh, Nota is giving me a lift, and then I sexually assault them. I use my fame and my what to be able to sexually assault someone. And I think just because it's a guy, nothing. And a lot of gay men do this. I've been spanked on the ass by a gay man as well. You know what I mean? And I told him I'm going to knock you out in front of... No. You know what I mean? I told him I'm going to knock him out in front of his boss. His boss. I even sat in and I was like, yo, you don't do that. I don't care. Like, you don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, because you're gay doesn't mean you can get away with being a rapist and abuser and everything else.
Why is it that if anything were to happen to me and I get convicted of it, I'm probably done and out, and other people are not? Like,
because you're a straight black man, and the war is on straight black men. And gay black men only benefit because gay white men want to ensure that they amoralize themselves. So they're beyond moral reproach because, number one, the war on gays, lesbians, and bisexuals, right, was based on moral grounds. Like, oh, being gay is amoral, right? So now we're saying, okay, fine. Now it's normalized as a society because of the legal statutes, the laws that have, right? Yeah. What happens to the public that was condemning it? They haven't changed their minds. They're just saying that this amorality is now allowed. Right? So what does that mean? If you guys want to live that amoral life, we will see you as amoral. And if people are seen as amoral, they are seen as subhuman. You know what I mean? We do that in religion. Oh, you guys pray to some other whatever. Okay, I know. You guys are lesser than us. So people generally see gay people as amoral, as lesser than us. So they don't have to have the same consequences that normal, moral human beings have. And therefore, they can get away with other stuff because they get away with all this other amoral stuff. And therefore, when a gay man says, I've been abused or whatever, people laugh about it. Because they don't see that gay man as a human being. They see them as less than human. What I'm saying is very difficult to like process and everything else, but it's true. It's not my opinion.
Yeah, I was about to say
it's an
that.
Observation.
Can you then? I was about to say that that's your observation on society.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts then about the community?
As a human species, or
generally speaking, like
LGBT.
Okay, let me just say myself. I work with gay niggas. I like gay niggas. I'm not a gay man. I love women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I socialize with gay niggas. It's like, so I just want you to clarify.
Yeah.
Because that's your critique.
So
it's an accurate critique of what's happening in society. But your thoughts on the LGBTQI community.
I don't have thoughts in particular on the LGBT community. What I have thoughts on is just like the polarization and the way to find a balance. We seem to be defaulting to extreme views. So because I'm transgender, I now need to say I am a woman. Recognize me as a woman. That's bullshit. You're not a woman. You will never be a woman. You understand? There are women in this world. We know what women are. You understand? They've had to fight for their suffrage rights and everything else. And you cannot now say you take on that fight. And then because now you are telling people, no, I identify as a woman, you must recognize me as a woman. We as society now, because of wokeness, you say, oh, he identifies as whatever. I identify as a 6-year-old girl. How about that?
Yeah, and
where's the limit?
Yeah, there are so many.
You
extremes.
Understand what I'm saying? So
just one case. There's so many extremes because incidentally, Caster Semenya is not allowed to run 800 meters as a woman.
Yes, but
there's a transgender who is not allowed to participate.
She's not a transgender.
That's what I'm saying. Like a legitimate woman who was born a woman is no longer allowed to participate in 800 meters, whereas Leah Thomas was allowed to participate as a woman who was born a man.
I understand. Why can't they have transgender sports? Then we can identify them as transgender. Why? What's wrong with being transgender? What's so wrong with being transgender that you are fighting to be transgender so that you can say, no, I'm not transgender, I'm a woman. Or no, I'm not transgender, I'm a man. Which means that you think there's something wrong with being transgender. It's not our problem. It's your problem. You don't want to identify as transgender. Identify as transgender. You're saying that you're transgender. Identify as that. Don't now say that you're a man or a woman and now you need to. No. They're men. They're women. We identify as men. We identify as women. We are men. We are women. You understand what I'm saying? And you can also exist. And we can all coexist. But now because of this extremism, I need to exist to your invalidity. To validify myself, I need to make you invalid. You understand? So this heteronormative society needs to be invalidated to make space for this trans extremist society. I call them trans Nazis. They're trans Nazis. They're Nazis.
Do you think it's across the community?
No, I'm saying there's the thing is this.
No. Let's.
There's
so
extremes.
Zooming it.
There are people in the extremes.
Because my worry is that the things that we are saying and the opinions.
We only see the most extreme. That's the thing. That's my point. My point is that we're only seeing the extremities. That's the way our political discourse is having. For us to find the middle ground, we have to see this extreme and this extreme. And I'm saying that is destructive because the extremes.
Because surely there are transgender people that look at the participation of transgender athletes and say, "Fuck that!
No,
that's not right."
There's most of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but it'll take one extremist to say, I am transgender, I'm going to participate in this sport as a woman. And that one extremist will get all the media attention. We know Leah Thompson.
Yeah,
and then once that person has that paints all transgenders as well to everybody else, because this extremist is now, and now these people need to counter that. So they go extreme on the other end. It's like this whole entire Roe versus Wade thing that's happening in the States, this abortion rights thing.
Oh yes. I was consuming that content.
So they're saying if you want an abortion, you are amoral. So therefore, if you're saying that, and I want an abortion, you're saying I'm amoral, I'm the devil, right? I need to be extreme to justify, and therefore we cannot find the middle ground.
Yeah.
And now it's everybody calling each other from the extremities names, and you are sitting in the middle watching this whole entire thing, and all you're seeing is the worst of either side, and you're not seeing the actual matter at hand.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a shame that we are polarized to this extent.
All the US Supreme Court said is that the Supreme Court cannot federalize a law because the United States Constitution says that the states govern themselves. It needs to be governed by the states.
Yeah.
Now, we watched this when the governor of New York had to fly all the way to Washington to go meet with President Trump. And he was telling us, no, the governors, what. And then Trump said, no, in this country, the way we set up our constitution. So basically, people are saying that you must overturn the US Constitution for this abortion law. That's what they're saying. Because if the Supreme Court allows this thing to stand, right, allows it to stand, then they're saying that the Constitution is wrong. And then you need to oppose the Constitution. It's like overthrowing the whole entire Constitution. We can't overthrow the entire Constitution because people are unhappy with one law. Let's rather address that law and find something of a compromise legislatively. Then throw out the whole entire Constitution, which was fought for over wars and civil wars. People died and everything else. Lots of suffering had to go into us actually agreeing to this. Even the South African Constitution, the one that Lindiwe Sisulu wants to overthrow right now. Her father died for that. Her mother sacrificed her life for this constitution that she wants to overthrow. Just imagine that, like in one generation, my dad can go for fighting for this constitution, and then Mina, I say, this constitution can go to hell with it. What am I doing about the struggles of my dad, his comrades, my mother, her comrades, and everything?
For the amendment of certain clauses in it.
Okay, let me give you an example. Right? Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
There was a whole entire theory, right, that said, okay, fine, there are these what are they called? Is it neutrinos? They're the subatomic particles, right? Neutrinos, right? And they've got no electrical force, okay? So give me a high five. We did not touch. What happened is that the electrons in your hand, right, repelled the electrons in my hand. And what we are feeling, what we're sensing is the repulsion, the repulsive force. Basically, all the articles and everything else, right, without that electric field, would be able to pass through each other. The resistance is an electromagnetic field. And that's why I feel a state. Sure. So your electrons are pushing mine away, and I'm sensing that, and mine are pushing yours away, and you're sensing that. That is what actually happened. But if we had no electrons, we were just neutrinos, what happened is no electrical force, they would go straight through.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So neutrinos are being tested, and then they test these neutrinos at CERN, right? Where they discovered the Higgs boson.
CERN.
Yeah, where they discovered the Higgs boson particle. So they got a particle accelerator. Basically, it's like a tube.
You sound like a fucking professor.
Kilometers
you sound like
circular.
A fucking professor.
And then they basically sent these neutrinos, right, from one country to another and measured. And they measured, and then it appeared that these neutrinos had gone past the speed of light. Einstein's theory of relativity says nothing is faster than
the speed of light.
So therefore, if these things have gone faster than the speed of light, that means that Einstein is proven wrong, right? What did it take for Einstein's theory of relativity to stand this test of time? It had to be tested, proven.
Yeah.
People tried to disprove it. So basically, this one experiment basically threatened to disprove the thing. So then people will say, "Oh, let's throw out Einstein's theory of relativity," and then the scientists say, no, not so fast. This law has stood for so many years. Let's retest this whole entire thing. Retest it.
It needs to stand the test of time.
And then they retested, and they found out that actually what happened is that there was a measurement error, and those neutrinos actually went slower than the speed of sound. So now,
I see where you're going.
had we just taken that little one case, would have thrown out the entire theory of relativity. For the theory of relativity to stand, it had to be tested and tested and tested and tested. For the Constitution to stand, it had to be tested and tested and tested and tested. Right? For us to find grounds to amend it, we need to test whatever theory that we have to disprove what we've tested and fought for here. That's it. There needs to be something that, I can't come up all of a sudden, I know how to mix on virtual DJ, and then all of a sudden I'm black coffee. No, I can't. I need to prove myself.
Stand the test of time.
Yeah, stand the test of time. You understand what I'm saying? Uncle Waffles cannot become black coffee just because, Drake is following her now. You understand what I'm saying?
10,000 hours.
That she needs to prove herself. You understand? He's proven himself from a skill perspective. So that's what I have to say about the Constitution as well.
Can we just because of course quite a few words were said there, particularly on the LGBTQI part. Can we close it off by maybe explaining your stance on it? I know you've expanded a little bit. I know clips can be taken and be deliberately taken out of context.
Look,
you meet me.
No.
Okay.
So for me, take me out of context, bro. I'm not looking for a job at some corporation or whatever. But the things that we need to be able to say these things so that people understand that they're dealing with certain type of people who, dude, you can't mute me or silence me or whatever. Even if you block me on Twitter, right? Someone's going to share a screen grab of what I tweeted. You're going to be exposed to.
Yeah,
I'm unblockable. You understand what I'm saying? No, not eventually. You will see it immediately. Someone is going to send it to you. You understand what I'm saying? Someone is going to say, listen, this guy said this. You understand? So I've gotten myself to that level and I fought for that level. I fought for that level to create my own narrative, to defend my own story so that I'm not subject to what people say about me or people's opinions about me. What I'm saying is that we need to stop with the extremism. That's it. We need to be able to coexist. All I'm saying is that let's coexist.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm getting back to this, because you said something in everything that you were saying. You said, I need to be able to exist and you need to be able to exist. And for me, as I'm listening to that, that's not hatred. That's not hatred.
That's not hatred. That's love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, that's acceptance.
That's the highest expression of love. Actually.
Yes. It's not even
knowing
tolerance.
that we are different.
It's not even tolerance. It's not even tolerance. So we can be, all of us are different in terms of like we're individuals, but we all share the same human genome. All of us, from Einstein to you. You know what I mean? All of us. Doesn't matter what religion we are, doesn't matter. But now we are being forced to become tribes. We're the tribalism.
Oh yeah, I've never heard you speak Tsonga, ever. Ever. Do you speak Tsonga?
I do sometimes.
You're Tsonga, right?
Yeah, I am Tsonga.
Right.
But I just don't speak it because the technology that is Tsonga has not traveled the world far enough for it to be as useful as English is.
Yeah, just say I'm a Tsonga person in Tsonga. Just say it. I've
Yeah?
never heard you say it. Just say it.
Tsonga.
And I love being Tsonga.
I wouldn't say I love being Tsonga. I love being human. It's a technology that my people...
No, I'm just saying, please say it. I've
I
never heard you speak Tsonga.
Yeah, well, I speak it because I'm not that fluent in it. I'm a Joburger.
Mungana lona ne FM.
I don't listen. Yeah.
Mahungu.
Mahungu, the news.
Nankos natin zita.
Yeah.
I listen to
Yeah.
Mungana lona ne
Yeah,
sometimes.
well, I don't listen to it because like I'm not that fluent in the language and everything else. But also, I'm not married to my language. I'm more South African than I am Tsonga.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying I believe in nationality.
Just hear me out. There is a suppression of tribes at times, and there
Tribalism, yeah.
Yeah, there is, and the reason why I deliberately do this is because I know with Tsongas that they need.
I know that. I know that.
Oh shit, he's
Tsonga,
part of me. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's Tsonga, but also
I'm not saying be tribalistic.
The things that for me, it is very colorism based, very tribalistic based. Because I've been told, oh, you're really light skinned for a Tsonga person, or you're really good looking for a Tsonga man, or something like that. So like I never really go into it, but if you see on my Instagram profile, I don't identify as him, her. What would I identify as? Tsonga.
Oh, nice one.
You understand? So, and also again, like now we have to identify as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In Italy, they're changing the laws now. All kids need to have double barrel surnames. Like, what the hell are you doing? you are basically destroying society. Like the way we've built society is being destroyed because certain people have got certain beliefs, and now we're overthrowing the entire rule book that took all of civilization to build just because of one thing that is being observed right now. And for me, is that there needs to be more testing. It needs to be this theory that you've got. I understand, but it took us blood to get to here. You understand what I'm saying? And when you haven't paid the cost to get your ideas to where we've got our ideas, so you need to do more to prove it. There needs to be a cost. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why people say there needs to be a cost to like even tweeting. To have a Twitter profile, there needs to be a cost.
Do you co-sign that belief?
Yeah.
Why?
Because then, certain people will know that there's a cost to the things that they're doing.
If 60 to 70% of South Africa is poor, wouldn't that restrict the access?
Look, I mean, we need to now understand that accessibility, right, is determined by affordability. That it works with everything, even a baby formula. You understand what I'm saying? So now, should poor South Africans never have access to baby formula? I'm just saying, because babies need baby formula, right? It's an essential need, but baby formula is sold at a premium. It's very expensive baby formula.
Very
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So are you telling me that poor babies don't cry for formula? So poor people must only breastfeed? Or, that's the world that we've built.
You agree with that?
It's not that I agree with it. It's the world that we built. It's the world that we... So if we want to...
I ask you specifically that, do you agree that there should be a cost to tweeting?
Yes, there should be a cost. There should be a cost. For not everybody should pay the cost, but there should be a cost to certain things.
When you say not everybody should pay the cost, what do you mean?
Not everybody should pay the cost. I mean, like, we also need to understand that certain people, the world in which we live in, are below the poverty line, and these things like access, you know what I mean? We should be able to amplify
I know Twitter
voice.
is not a priority for someone who's struggling to make ends meet, but I suppose you close that off to a specific portion of the population. Eventually, there will be other things as well that are not essential that will be closed off. And eventually, we live in an authoritarian state. Eventually.
Well, I mean, look, Twitter is a protest tool. It's a tool to protest about certain things.
That's an interesting path that you're taking.
The way it started was via text mobs. So back in the days, before there was Occupy Wall Street and everything else. Well, before the
before that.
preeminent,
Yeah.
they used to have this thing called text mobs, right? So these people who are doing these text mob things, right, linked up with Jack Dorsey, who was working at Audio at the time, which is what Twitter is now, the podcasting platform, and he was an employee at Audio, and then Audio was taken out of business by Apple because Apple put podcasting on their app store, and then on every Apple phone you had podcasts, and therefore this podcasting app was now obsolete because everybody had a podcasting app on their thing. And then Google also obviously are going to copy whatever iOS is doing, and Android is going to have their own podcasting platform as well, right? So they needed to pivot, and then Jack Dorsey, hey, employee with a bright idea for a pivot. Hey, I've been linking up with these guys. They're doing this thing called text mobbing. So let's set up this thing. Okay, fine. Let's give it a new name and everything else. Did the research. They tested it, right? And it worked. So Jack Dorsey goes from employee to co-founder. Because now they've pivoted the business. It's now called Twitter. It's rebranded, and he negotiated his way in. And it emanated from a protest culture. So that's where we protest. The Arab Spring happened on Twitter.
But
you know what I mean?
There's a
the same reason why they're protesting having Donald Trump on the platform, because they're like, if we have him on the platform, he's going to win the election.
Oh, yeah. And that's definitely going to happen.
You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is that even if they take him off the platform, he's going to win the election. It's obvious that Donald Trump is going to win the next election. Like, we don't even need to, like, Joe Biden stands no chance. You understand? And the same person who was influencing to ensure that Trump is president, Putin, is doing the exact same thing right now with at the petrol pump.
Yeah,
he's making Americans pay for the war in Ukraine personally. You understand? It's not the American government that's paying for it. It's the American people that are paying for it personally. When they go to the gas pump, they're paying for it personally.
Sure.
Let's talk about baby formula. There's a baby formula shortage in all the poorer states. Why? Because all the people in the rich states realize that, oh, damn it, baby formula prices are going up. Before they go all the way up, let's buy as much as possible. So the rich people bought all the baby formula, right? And now on the shelves in the poorer states, there's no baby formula. Now, what happens to a mother who can't breastfeed her child and who needs baby formula? When she has to think about having another child, she has to get over the trauma of, I went through a spell where I couldn't even find baby formula at any shop. I went to Walmart, I went to this, I went to whatever, Costco, I couldn't find baby formula anywhere. That trauma of being unable to feed your child. What do? We try to find a commercial way to solve that problem. Why? Because the corporations run the media, and the media is just there so that they can sell their products, right? People are not, there's no humanity, there's no humanism. So there's no one who's saying, actually, what we need to start doing is changing this culture of having women reliant on baby formula. Women who've got breast milk should be expressing their breast milk and should be able to sell it on an open market. And you should be able to buy breast milk. The same way Checkers 60 can come and deliver your groceries within 30 minutes. As soon as they deliver your groceries, right, they should be able to collect a bottle that your wife or whatever has filled with breast milk, take it to a processing factory, make sure that it's cleaned, and then are able to bottle it, and then are able to deliver it to a mother who's in need of milk to feed their child. And we don't need these formulas. We can have human milk. Why do we need these formulas? In a country like South Africa, where women are struggling with the basics, now we're still making poor women buy baby formula. You understand what I'm saying?
We started off by talking about Twitter and Twitter coming at a premium. And we've segued into that, but I see the interconnectivity.
What I'm saying is that Twitter is just as essential as baby formula.
Yeah, but what now there are things that I'm picking up, as you mentioned, that maybe you may not be picking up, is that it can also, the fact that expression can come at a cost can also be used as suppression as a result of that. Because people can put a premium on you expressing yourself on a platform that's supposed to be free, they can be able now to rule countries with an iron fist and decide prices because they don't want people to express themselves on those platforms. So
that takes us back to the baby formula. They don't want women to express their breasts. They don't want women to express themselves.
But the reason why I'm putting this,
so they've taken the power.
You said
hold on, wait.
What I'm
saying is this. what I'm saying is this, is that there needs to be a cost. Not everybody needs to pay the
Sure.
cost. Not everybody needs to pay the cost, right? Now, what I'm saying is that, do men not benefit from breastfeeding?
They do.
Do they participate in it?
No.
They do, as infants. They get breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So they benefit from breastfeeding, and also when they have kids, their kids are likely to be breastfed.
Yeah.
Right? So, who pays the cost for the breastfeeding? The women. They are the ones who have to eat nutrition that will allow them to produce breast milk
Sure.
that can nourish the children. They pay for it. You know, they have to look after themselves. They're the ones who mustn't smoke or drink too much alcohol
Yeah.
or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So so certain people will have to pay the cost. But at the same time, now if women have got an open market where they can express their breasts, right? They should also derive the benefit. They should be able to sell that. You understand? Yes, my child is done breastfeeding now, but I've still got breast milk. I should be able
Yeah,
to
look,
now
I'm
make
not
money.
educated enough on women's body autonomy to know that whether or not selling breast milk has any long-term implications. What if you're overselling? What if, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not comfortable talking about this part because
No,
women's
we
body-
shouldn't. You see, that's the
Look,
thing. No.
Look,
That's the
yo,
thing.
yo,
I'm not
yo.
gonna. No, women's bodies
What if
are
they're
human
long-term
bodies. No. We must stop this
implications
thing.
for
That's the
selling?
thing. That's the thing. Women can say anything about men. Women can talk about men. Men do this. Men's dicks, dick sizes. What? Their positions. Men are bad in bed. Men are this. Men are trash. Men are this. We can't talk about women.
Yeah.
Why? Do we not live with women in society? Do we not have engagements, interactions with women? Am I not born of
But
a
I'm
woman?
qualifying what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know enough about whether or not how much of breast milk must always be in your breast for you to feed a healthy baby. So I don't want to get into that.
What I'm saying is that it's not about the amount
Yeah.
that needs to be feed a baby. It's about, if I can produce 250 mils of breast milk right now, I need to sell it by the milliliter, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And I sell it into an open market. And then whoever's buying it buys it on demand. So if they need 1 liter, it means they're going to take some of this 250 milliliters, some of what this
And
one.
do we know whether or not
The same way our water, you flush it down the toilet after you thing, and it goes there, and then you open your tap and you drink the same water. Come on. It's the same system.
Yeah.
It's the same system. That's all I'm saying, is that it's the same system. So why are we not using it? Because the people who are making baby formula are making too much money, and then they own the media, and then they're stopping us from knowing that actually we could have an open market with breast milk and breastfeeding, and we could actually make women who breastfeed actually have, an economic reason to do so. We don't need factories making synthetic baby formula and all that type of stuff so that we can have baby formula shortages and everything else. And we've got distribution of groceries that's coming in delivered by the door within 60 minutes for at less than 20
whatever
rand.
the fuck you just said now is an idea for someone to implement.
It's not as an idea for someone to implement. It's a decision society needs to make.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Selling breast
It's a decision society needs to make.
Yeah. All right. Can we segue back into the music? You've said a couple of things about Bada Bing.
Yeah.
Slikour on Life, Slikour. What was that about? Incidentally, I watched, I think, all the episode on Behind the Label.
Yeah.
Including your episode,
What do you think about it?
999. I thought it was interesting. That's why I literally...
It was informative.
Yes, absolutely. Because I literally sat through maybe 5 episodes, which is like 4 or 5 hours. Of course, you skip through some of them, but it's like 4 hours.
And it teaches you how these record labels came about
Absolutely.
and everything else.
Ghetto Rap and all of them. I was, because I love music, I was so intrigued by it, including your episode with Kwesta, and so on. And on Bada Bing's episode, they did mention you. There was a colored nigga that was talking about the
Peter.
fact how you were introduced.
Nah,
Yeah.
he wasn't even there when I was
Well,
there.
he spoke that there was
yeah,
no
well, I mean,
and shit like that.
imagine him talking about me when
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't
did.
even there. He doesn't
He
even
did
know me.
say. Was he not there at the time you were there?
It doesn't matter. What was said? What was said is that this guy came here and showed us everything about social media.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
that was then when they didn't
He was
know
supposed
that.
to be a social media guy.
What is social media now? Social media runs everything.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
I've never disputed the fact that you've been a pioneer
so
in
that
the space.
I know, but they disputed it. They didn't understand it. And now it's beyond them. And now everything has been run by social media. Exactly what I said. They're unable to give me the dues, the credit, and everything else, the praise. You understand? The whole entire structure of what ventilation.coza was going to be, how it's going to integrate with different social media sites, that's my PowerPoint presentation.
Sorry, were you there
That's
for
ventilation.
ventilation
Yes,
mixtape
I was
volume
there.
1? Were you there?
No.
Okay, I just
No. I was there for mixtape volume 2.
I bought the mixtape volume.
I was on mixtape volume 2.
Video as well.
I was on mixtape volume 2.
Did it have a DVD with volume 2? Volume 1 had a DVD.
Yeah, it had a
That's
DVD. I don't know. I didn't
remember
watch it. Yeah, but that was banger. No,
Yes,
that was trash.
I bought that.
Yeah, trash album.
Fuck you.
No, it was trash. The only
Get the
nice song on it was
fuck
Dreamer. No, for real. You know that.
Ventilation Mixtape Volume 1 did not have
Can I
Shine.
see the light? No, that was volume 2.
When I shine,
volume 2,
you shine.
Yeah, wax song as well.
No, fuck you.
It is.
Fuck you.
I mean,
Get the
serious.
fuck out of here.
Nah, come on, it's a wax
Fuck,
song.
you're wilding.
What did it do?
Now, obviously, I don't care.
Nothing.
I'm talking about the music.
Yeah, either way, it didn't do anything compared to what Squatter Camp was doing. So as long as it didn't meet Squatter Camp level, for me, it's irrelevant. Now you look at how social media had a big influence on like the careers of like guys like Cassper, Nyovest, aka the whole entire hip hop wave. That was stuff that I was pioneering. I was innovating in. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Slick. My problem with him is that he's now a middleman. He's a content creator because of Slikour in Life, but he also has connections with all these advertising agencies and everything else. He's actually worked for the agencies. I think he used to work at TBWA Hunt Lascaris at some point in time. Like when he left Bada Bing Ventilation, that's where he went. You understand? Because he's been looking to get into the marketing thing. The thing is that he's got no relevance. He needs the artists who are hot, who are fresh. You understand? And the role he plays is like he sells these artists to the corporations. And that's how he makes his money. But he's selling them at a pittance.
Just expand
what
on
their value is.
Just expand on what it means to sell. I know, but someone who doesn't know, what does it mean to sell?
Basically, he will say, okay, I've got this new young artist. Her name is, I've got Java. I want to do a live performance with Java and everything else. And the brand will say, oh, okay, cool. No, sharp. Sia will pay you this much money for this thing and everything else. And then he'll go to Java and then he'll break him off. And that's how he makes his money. So that's
what does break him off?
Break him off is take a part of that, give him a payment for that thing.
Is that transaction fair or not?
No, it's not.
Why
because at the end of the day, Java can do that performance with the brand directly without Slikour being the middleman.
So why doesn't just Java do it himself?
Why doesn't he do it himself? Because these corporations, these agencies are not attached to the culture. And therefore, they rely on these middlemen.
They prefer.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it happens in so many places.
So what I do is that I don't play the middleman role. I connect the people. If brand X wants artist Y, I connect artist Y with brand X. Let them do their deal. Let it be direct. Why? Because if I participate in the middleman part of things, right, I'm extracting some of the value that it should be going to the artist, and I already know that artists are shortchanged. I know the artist situation in South Africa.
What is the value for you if you connect the two different parties? I would do the same thing, but what is the value for you?
I create my value through relationships and the maintaining of those relationships over many, many years.
So in that transaction, you would not get compensation?
No, I don't.
If you say Nkululeko on Cultr, I've got Old Mutual.
I connect you. I did that for MacG. I still have a relationship with MacG. You understand? The whole entire point is that me and MacG need to have a relationship until we are 70. So that we can exchange value until we're 70.
But at what point do you get compensated
I get compensated for the value that I create on the products that I'm selling.
You do realize that the audience doesn't understand what that means. Because
I do realize that certain things you need to have business experience to understand. And I do realize that certain people just never want to make the effort to actually understand these things. So there are certain things that people will need to discover. They will need to discover. I cannot now obsess over the fact that something I say will be misunderstood by 99% of people.
And it does, unfortunately. And I think it's tragic. Because, I'm a communicator and a consumer. I love some of the shit you say, most of it. And I'm like, you would be better served if you could communicate it differently.
Nah.
In a way that the dumbest nigga can understand it.
No, they won't. They won't, because the thing is that you've gone to school. You've been taught obedience. You've been taught to stick to the systems and everything else. So your brain, the way in which it's been configured and the systems in which you've placed yourself in, basically preclude you from the understanding of how things work.
Unfortunately.
So I had this, I went to a friend of mine's factory, black-owned factory production. Yes, we do produce goods, our own goods. And he's like, every time I go to these white factories, there's like there's a white guy that's there to stop the factory workers from thinking. Like every time they're in the factory floor and everything else, you know what I mean? There's a guy saying, hey, what are you doing? Hey, you can't sit here. So that they can't think. They can't see to themselves and think, actually, all we do is take grapes, right? We put them in this big drum. It crushes them clean. And then we put them in this other drum. And then it sits there for a couple of months. And then we put it in bottles. And then we have wine. And then the wine is sold. Hold on.
I have the skill to do this.
We can do this ourselves.
Yeah.
So the farm workers are just there for the salary and everything else. And on Fridays, they get to drink some of the wine and everything else. And there's a guy there to ensure that, you're not thinking. Don't think. Hey, don't have any ideas. Don't, hey, are you doing enough? And then all of a sudden, your time is wasted. You're not learning anything.
That's tragic.
And, it's the most tragic thing. And then you go to these factories, you go to these farms, and you go to these. Okay, how is sugar produced?
I don't know.
Sugar cane, crushed. There's only 2 sugar producers in South Africa: Selati and Hewlett's. You're telling me that in all of KZN, in Ngonyama Trust, none of them can make sugar. So all of them have to sell their raw sugar cane to 2 companies to make the sugar for the entire country. And that is the sugar that's in everything. When you drink Coca-Cola, all the sugar is made by 2 companies. So there's no beneficiation. So that smallhold black-owned farmer, all he does is sell raw sugar cane to the producers who then can determine what price they're buying that raw sugar cane at. So they buy it at the lowest possible price. They add their premium and that's it. And there's no way you can compete with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And none of them is thinking. The king of the Zulus is not thinking, damn it. We've got all this land, this Ngonyama Trust and everything else. And we don't have the machines as the Royal Zulu Sugar Company, as the Misu Zulu Sugar Company. Because all we do is beg Cyril Ramaphosa to give us money every year. We got all this land, we got these people that are here and everything else, and none of it, we're not producing anything with it. How? How come King Goodwill Zwelithini did not go to China, buy machinery to produce sugar and compete with Selati and Tonga Tulips? Why?
Yeah, and it for whatever number of years it would have taken, you would still get to a point where you're profiting.
That's it.
Eventually, you would start.
Yeah, understand what I'm saying? And we're not doing that.
Yeah. Just back on where we started. Why are you talking? I mean,
because that's my thing. Is that I wasn't there to be a worker who's told.
Yeah.
I was there with the ideas and everything else.
What happened recently is that you're talking about this now again? What
happened recently? Obviously, remember he sued me.
I know that there was a lawsuit, and
that one was like a threatened lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
He threatened a lawsuit. This time the sheriff knocked on my door. And when the sheriff knocks on your door, even at the complex, they don't even have to buzz in with the gate. It's the sheriff.
Yeah.
It's just a knock on your door and you're like, hey, who's that? And then all of a sudden it's a lawsuit. You know what I mean?
What is it about now?
It's something that he claims. I'm not even going to validate whatever his claim is, but it's a useless lawsuit. It's spurious. And the things that I paid him a settlement. And he still wants to go in for a lawsuit. So I'm like, hold on. This guy, what does he want from me? Like, what is it that he wants from me? Because when you go out there as Sia, right, and you're speaking about my work and me, you need to ensure that you're speaking about it in an honest fashion that I appreciate. You can't speak in it in a disparaging thing. Oh, Nota was just our social media guy. Do you think I'm not going to have feelings about that? When I'm like, hold on, but social media is actually what made millions for your business. I actually gave you a fucking BlackBerry campaign that you charged BlackBerry 150,000 Rand for and didn't even pay me. And didn't even give me a cent. Didn't even say, okay, it hasn't 15,000 or 5,000. Because you did all the work. You filmed the stuff. You edited this. You packaged it. You did all the work. You conceptualized this. You did the whole entire thing. Nothing. The only thing I got from BlackBerry was them giving Kwesta a phone because I asked them for it. A BlackBerry torch. They had a new torch. I said, okay, no, give it to him. I didn't even ask for anything for myself. And why did I get him that BlackBerry torch? Because the night before at a gig, while performing on stage, he gave me his phone and I left it on those decks and I left it there. And you understand what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, damn it. I need to replace this guy's phone. I went to BlackBerry the next day because we did some work. I said, yo, I lost. Can you give me a phone? And that's it. But the person who was profiting from my work did not even think. At that point in time, dude, you're not even paying me enough to pay the rent. That really hurt me, dog. It really hurt my feelings. It's like this guy exploited me, used me, benefited from me, and now he's shitting on me. You come there with Kwesta, he's putting him on your couch, you're sitting there, and you guys are talking shit about me. You're helping him talk shit about me. You're helping him lie about me. The same way he went on to MacG's podcast and lied, said, no, this guy's blocking me from YouTube, whatever, and he tweeted that nonsense, and it wasn't even true. But the thing is that you're tweeting that on a Twitter profile where I built that Twitter profile to have millions of followers. So you're using the same platform that I built, I worked hard to disparage me, the person who worked for that motherfucking platform. Do you understand the level of anger that I have? And then you're going to sit next to Slikour, and instead of Slikour telling you that, nah, this guy did A, B, C, D. 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 What you're complaining about, there's no actual basis to it. There is actually nothing for you to be crying about. You shouldn't even be crying to this person about. In fact, this guy has treated you fairly. This guy took care of you. In fact, had your career been in my hands, you would have been nowhere right now. That guy made sure that there's something for you to take home. That guy made sure that you've got a roof over your head.
Yeah, because behind the label, you did say that you eventually moved with Kwesta.
Yes.
And that's how there was an upward trajectory from
the reason why is because I was telling him that, yo, these guys are exploiting you. Your career is not going to go anywhere. I just wasn't going to say that on behind the label, but that was the truth of the matter. He was being exploited by Bada Bing. And I helped him. I rescued him from that situation. And then I also didn't exploit him. I helped him and then also made sure that he benefited the most from it. To my own disadvantage. I'm the one who suffered. I'm the one who made sure that the business makes all these millions to spend on this guy. This guy, what is he going to do? The first thing he thinks about is myself. If the business has got 10 million in the bank, I'm going to take 1.4 million. I'm going to pay for my own personal wedding. I'm going to do this for myself. You understand what I'm saying? Who are you taking from? You're taking from the business. The business is supposed to support the people that founded the business. When the business collapses, you are left with nothing from that business. Who loses? The person who's building the fucking business. I built the fucking business. I'm the one who lost. I'm the one who sacrificed. I'm the one who didn't do nice stuff for my mother. So that you could do all the great things for your mother. So you could buy your mother an X4 if you want to. I did that shit. I didn't buy my mother a car. Why? Because I'm making sure that you're nice. You're taken care of. Because at the end of the day, if you fall and you falter, people will blame me. If you end up like Zahara, people will blame me. The same way they're blaming DJ Sbu, even though DJ Sbu did everything right. To his own disadvantage. And every single time Zahara decides, that, she now wants to bring Sbu down, she brings up something and then, it's a claim, oh, Imaliga Zahara, what, and that's the bullshit. Now I must post, oh no, you're going to go around, you're going to tell Makwa that I cheated him. Makwa didn't make beats for me. I didn't rap on his songs. I didn't take anything from him. I gave him everything. Everything that he has, I made sure that, you are given. You are taken care of. All your demands, you are taken care of. You are the best taken care of. And he's benefiting from that today. He's got means. He's able to do something. He's got a brand name. People know him. He's able to leverage off of that. Mm-hmm. Why do people know him? Is there a relationship between Slikour and Kwesta? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. All I know is that Slikour is, a snake. And that, he uses all these artists. He's using all of them. He's exploiting each and every single one of them just to make money for himself. He's not trying to help them. He's not helping them. He's not giving them advice. He's not saying anything good. If he was really good and giving people advice, when these guys are out there showing their penises on social media, drinking lean, and he'd call them out. The same way I called out MT. I called out MT while I was sitting there with a deal on the table to offer him. I said, no, you need to fix yourself first. I'm worried about your kids. I'm worried about your wife. I'm not worried about exploiting you and getting a new album out quickly, because these record companies, they don't give a damn. They can see this guy is suffering. He can't even stand. And they want to give him thousands of dollars and then say, oh no, we put up his album. Logan is up there. And they didn't care about the condition of the person whose the album was being taken out. And then people complain, oh no, MT was sabotaged. No, he's a junkie. He needs to get to rehab and get clean and sort out his life. He's got kids to raise. It's really bad. It's really bad. For me, my biggest fear is that MT's kids pick up a Xanax tablet and overdose and die. That's my biggest fear. The same way now, Droop's son is caught taking his mother's boyfriend's weed to school. And other kids take their parents' guns to school and shoot other kids. I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the actual human being, not whether they've got a hit song or anything else. You know? So this guy, he's got no concern about the human being. He's got no concern whatsoever. When Slikour did that interview with MT, it's because I was on the phone with him and saying, yo, you can't be interviewing these kids while they're high and everything and you're not calling out this bad behavior. You know, you don't even drink. You don't even partake. You don't even smoke any of all this shit. You know how destructive this shit is. We've seen what cocaine did with Kwaito. Look at the Mapaputsis, the Mandozas, the Kabelo Mabalani. All his worst days, everything that right now is threatening his legacy is when he was high on drugs. Look at Sizwe Dlomo. And then look at Scoop Makatini. They came out same time, probably at the same platform. They both got a love for basketball, hip-hop, and everything culture. Sizwe Dlomo's drive time, Kaya FM, businessman, solid, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Scoop Makatini, I tried mushrooms, I did acid, I did what. Where is he now? Producing Popcast. Where is Popcast now? Popcast was being put on DSTV because they got friends inside. Next to Podcast and Chill. People complain, say, where's Popcast now? Same platform Slikour would go to talk nonsense about me. And say, I don't know.
Needless to say that there will be
And lie.
There will be further litigation. As you are doing this back and forth with him.
No. The only reason why I actually said something about it now is because he was supposed to submit papers to the court by the 7th of May. And he didn't. I kept quiet to see if he's going to pursue it because I knew that his case is going to be very costly for him because it's going to be dismissed with costs, which means he has to pay my legal costs, which is going to cost him a lot, which means that whatever he was demanding, I want to sue this guy for this much, that's how much he's going to pay me. And the only reason I'm tweeting about it is now because I want to get the ball rolling. I want to get the ball rolling. I want this matter to be settled nice and finally. And once it's settled as well, at least then I would have done away with all his credibility. And I don't need to worry about him influencing people wrongly in the future. Same thing as on the 1st of August when my court case with Shimza starts. Through the trial, it'll be seen in media and everything else. I'll bring out all the evidence and everything else and basically decapitate
That's
him.
always what's the tricky thing, because as we seeing Amber Heard and Johnny Depp unfold, you're being full of shit, you're taking people to court. We then need to call witnesses and people can't lie under oath. And then things about you are big. 4 million views. Next day, 5 million views. It's like you fucking exposing yourself by trying to silence other people. Because if they take
called the Streisand effect.
Yeah. I like that. I always quote that, the Streisand effect, where Barbara Streisand was trying to avoid people seeing the picture of his house, and then because she
tried
because
the wedding,
because
to fly over the wedding and everything.
Yes, and because she's taking people to court, it's being reported, and as a result of that, more people see
the whole, and that's exactly the thing. Why is Slikour taking me to court and suing me? He's been badly advised. Why? Because his business partner is his lawyer. So the lawyer is now not even acting on the best legal grounds. He's not even a defamation lawyer. You understand? Me, I actually hire defamation lawyers to deal with my defamation cases. I've got people who I say, okay, I've got a defamation case. Who are the best defamation people? Okay, I get the best defamation people. I pay them the big bucks. I get the best legal advice. He's not getting as good legal advice as I'm getting because he's getting that legal advice for what? For free. I'm paying for mine. A premium. I'm not paying just any lawyer or what lawyer. You understand? I'm not just getting an advocate therefore who's going to be arrested in court. No, I'm getting the top dogs. You understand? The big guns. I bring the big guns. Why? Because I'm playing to win. And why do I need to win? The reason why I need to win is because I need to remove the bad influence from our influence culture so that I can then promote the good influences unhindered. So I need to eradicate that which is toxic and has entrenched itself for such a long time so that we can establish a new, more honest thingamajig. And if you look at social media right now, dude, like it's no longer just the PR agents, like the what's it, film bellas or whatever, who will say whatever because they're getting paid and everything else, and they protect their friends and everything else. Now it's a free for all. So everybody sees, okay, fine, I can make a name for myself. I can make money.
Do you remember Bill Pottinger?
That's the whole entire thing. But I've opened the floodgates. That's all I was doing. I was democratizing it so that everybody could get it.
What would you do? Interestingly, okay,
and the only reason I was able to do that is because I'm not charging a commission. I'm not charging a fee. I'm helping people for free so that they can elevate and the only payback that I get from them is that when they're successful, we are in a network. And our network effects are what get all of us forward in the end.
And that's way more money.
That's way more money. So like the best people or whatever, the PR agents for all these artists, all of them, like none of them know as much about the industry as me or anything else. I know that from the fact that a lot of artist managers don't want me to speak to their artists. Because, okay, as soon as Nota speaks to the artist is thinking to themselves, why am I being managed by this idiot when Nota is the person who can actually get my career from 0 to 100 in a snap of a fingers? You understand? So I'm not doing that for these people who want to be celebrities. I'm doing that for the people who are nobodies, CBD Twitter. I'm making them people with influence. I'm making them, I'm boosting the Chris Excel, making sure he's got the best advice. He knows how to move. I'm boosting all of those guys. That's the network. Because once those people are all elevated, right, they'll have more influence than these celebrities who don't actually have real substance. And then I'll be able to prove that these nobodies actually have more influence than all these somebodies that these corporations built up. And then what will happen? What will happen?
I suppose corporations goes to...
No.
Or...
We've got the influence, and the corporations need to come to us.
That's what I'm saying. The corporations go to the influencers or whatever.
To influence the people.
Yeah.
It's just a hostile takeover.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's very interesting.
Just bomb. It's like what America does. They bomb Iraq and then they extract the oil.
That's very interesting.
It's not interesting. It's what happens in the world. We watch it happen.
No. It's not as you don't say it as if people do that normally.
They do.
And I'm not saying. I'm saying regular people don't do that normally.
They do.
In terms of
everywhere
at this high level.
So everywhere you go to Cape Town.
Yeah.
Every restaurant pays protection fees. There's one company that provides all the tablecloths for every single restaurant. There's one company that provides all the cutlery for every. That's protection fees.
Yeah.
Cape Town is run through Pollsmoor Prison. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because someone in Pollsmoor Prison is making sure that if you don't pay the protection fee or whatever, then you won't be able to do business. So someone needs to then say, okay, fine. If you guys don't pay the protection fees or whatever, then you cannot do business on Twitter. Can Cassper tweet? No, he can't. He tweets and then all the haters come. Why? Because I set them up. I worked. I primed them. So there's an equal and opposite force to his fan base, CBPNs.
That's why I said you are a Vegeta.
Goku. Goku. So you look at Shimza now. He tries to tweet. He tries to say something. People are just...
Yeah.
Now, I don't even need to...
And I remember the groundwork that happened at the beginning when you kept on... Okay. And you kept on exposing this government connection to this concert or whatever, to this business. And now it's like public knowledge. Everyone almost knows it.
And now, I don't even need to be involved anymore. There's an entire army. And what do they benefit from me? They benefit from the fact that this guy is on the other side. This guy knows the business better than anybody else. And this guy is willing to give us the information, willing to help us progress in life. He doesn't look at us as threats. He looks at us as part of a broader network. And that's all I'm doing. And now, for you to make it, you need to convince these people that I've primed to have this certain standard and this certain level for them to recognize you. And if they don't, sorry.
Yeah. Would you just on the topic of litigation, knowing what you have become now, because you're not just a regular person, you have a profile, you've done well for yourself. Would you then conversely sue people that talk shit about you? No. I've asked myself that question, and the answer is always no. I don't care how much millions I eventually make, which I will. No. I don't care. I'm not going to litigate against someone. I can try and have a phone call.
I cannot rule that out.
If
I cannot rule that out.
Yeah,
I cannot rule that out. I'm willing to use every weapon that is lawful in my arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I cannot rule that out. You never know.
Live long enough to see yourself become a villain, because at some point you are going to be the big tree that young niggas are shooting at.
That's the thing. Is that how did I build myself up? I didn't build myself up by trying to make myself the big tree. You understand? That young niggas can shoot. I'm building myself up by ensuring that I'm the apple tree. I'm the apple orchard. I provide the shade. I provide the fruits. I provide the nourishment. If they shoot me down, they starve. That's it. Make yourself an apple tree. Make yourself an apple orchard. Because if you want to make yourself this tree that produces no fruits, that nourishes nobody, that just sucks water from the ground and sucks the nutrients from the soil and keeps them within its trunk, because that's what trees do.
Yeah.
You understand? And you don't bear fruit. And agnamundos or kipenchis. I'm like the mulberry tree in your street. Everybody can pick a fruit.
I think that's powerful. Yeah. I suppose we've spoken for close to 2 hours. I'm fucking tired.
No, it's because you had something that you were doing before.
Yeah.
You had something that you were doing before. But I mean, like, I did manage to watch your interview with what's this guy, Temba Broly.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, you know, I hope he takes advantage of this. We don't have the same. What's that? K2. Remember K2?
What is K2?
K2 was, you see, you've forgotten. He was also the guy from Big Brother. I think he came second or whatever.
I'm not a fan of Big Brother.
I know.
I incidentally happened to interview
They're
some of the guys.
Big Brother fans. As soon as someone is on the show,
I get your point.
They love them for that season.
Yeah. But I did say to him that he's particular. I mean, he stands out.
K2 was a rapper as well. He made songs as well. It's all about the quality of what he produces. You need to produce.
Would you work with him? Because I mean, Temba, because he's working with Tira. I saw him in studio with Tira. Would you work with him? Do you think there's enough traction there?
Nah.
I mean, there were hundreds of his fans commenting.
Nah.
Why not?
Nah. I don't work with anyone who's not a generational talent. Just look at everyone I've worked with. I'm very selective. If I don't believe that you are Brenda Fassie level, Kwesta level, Kid X level, I don't even bother. I'm too accomplished to just be gambling. I don't do it gambling. The labels do that. They sign up the whole entire street and then they hope something is going to pop, right? I don't do that. I sign something that I know that this is going to make an impact in certain community, or this is going to, you understand what I'm saying? Working with Kwesta, I knew that this guy is going to make an impact in his community because of what he stands for, and you know what I mean. What the potential.
So from a distance, you are able to ascertain that Utemba is not a generational.
Immediately, that's my talent. That's my talent. Is
Jomo
being
Sono
able to
has the
identify.
talent too.
Yeah. I can identify. Okay, this is generational talent.
That radar cannot be wrong sometimes.
You see what we spoke about the whole entire proving and everything else. I also have a process. I have a process under which I discern with, and I trust that process.
Yeah.
And that process steers me right all the time. It steers me right all the time. I had the same process when I discerned, and I said, Folkalistic is going to be a generational talent.
Oh, yes, and you did that. You did that. I don't know how you picked him up, but you did that.
It's my process.
Because wasn't he doing essentially what Tuksinganga and what of course in a different way what Tuksinganga, what Jabba was doing, what my favorite I have his face
Momulim.
now. Momulimi I loved as well. Kulichana was my favorite because he exudes cool.
Exactly.
He exudes
exactly.
cool, you know, because so Vocalist was doing that, but obviously over Amapiano beats. So why did you see that? How?
I could just tell. I sat with him. I listened to him. I had him come over to the. He didn't even know. I had him come over to the studio. Major League were working on stuff. They said, no, we're working on vocalistic stuff. I went to vocalistic. I said, no, send him over to the crib. Send him over. I've got Markwa there. I want him to sit there. He did. I wasn't even there. I didn't want to interfere. But after they did the work, I asked Markwa certain questions. Okay, fine. I listened to what he was doing. Okay, fine. I listened to all of the stuff. And on my own determination, I knew that, okay, cool. Just that I didn't want to be...
Are you also looking at the software? Like the brains down here? This one is going to be good.
Yeah. I would have never invested time. I go visit Vocalistic at his crib just to sit and talk to him.
Yeah, and I remember you shared dates of him performing in America and shit like that.
Yeah, I posted that. Yeah, understand? Because I said that, I prophesized it.
Yes,
I prophesized it. I said, Nasty C is going to be languishing at home while Vocalistic is touring the world. And that is exactly what's happening. Nasty C is here at home with T.I.'s son, Domani, who I also met.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
I met Domani as well.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah,
nice one.
When we went to Atlanta, I took pictures of Domani and what's this guy?
I saw him with Nasty C. Is he a recording musician, Domani?
Yeah, he's an artist.
Is it good?
No.
Okay.
He's not a generational talent. His dad is.
You are called the authority.
His dad, you know, and I've even changed to good authority.
Good authority. Okay.
Yeah, because I did the aggressive thing on my Twitter for a while, right? And I've done it enough. Okay, cool. And now I've also established the people who are even more aggressive, the extremes, the slick talks and everything else. I've made sure that they're
slick talk, and I'm back with another video.
And now he's all on fire, and he's a staple. He's a household name. You understand? He's a household name, and he's solid. You can't cancel him.
If you're watching, please answer my messages.
Yeah.
I would like you to sit on this couch.
Yeah, exactly. He's a household name. You know what I mean? There's even now this other guy, Chris Excel. People try to when Riky passed away. People try to say, you guys cyberbullied. No, the only person who was cyberbullying are Tsibipians. Tsibipians cyberbullied Patrick Shai to death.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was obvious. It was clean. And, you know, from then on...
I wish he hadn't shot that video. I'm not condoning the bullying. I wish he hadn't shot the video of swearing at Cassper.
But it was just playful. Yeah. Like, no, let's be honest. That was playful. That was playful because Cassper was doing this whole entire boxing thing. And he was doing it with slick talk and whole entire thing. You understand what I'm saying? And then Slick Talk becomes the only person who gets paid off the boxing.
So there's no financial incentive for Cassper to do that. Was there no money that he made from it?
Well, I mean, they were trying to make money. But they ended up not even paying Nak Music his winnings.
No, man, what happened? Just please expand on that.
I'm just saying,
we were going to talk about that. What happened?
The whole entire thing was just a farce.
No, man, I don't believe it.
Okay, did they do any drug testing?
Nah, man. I mean, it's a charity. It's a charity match.
Hollywood Bets is going to allow you to bet on a match where there's no drug testing.
Wasn't that match up for betting? I know that there were betting platforms that allowed.
I don't know, but all I saw is Pumlani Msibi and not the Hollywood Bets ambassador.
Yeah,
doing all the presentations and doing all the speaking. Why was Robert Marawa not doing the speaking if Hollywood Bets was supposed to be the sponsor?
Nah, but Pums works for SuperSport and I was on SuperSport.
Yes, Pumlani, because they're the broadcaster.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about the sponsor.
Yeah.
Why did Hollywood Bets pull out?
Yeah, you're asking the questions, but if you have the answers, please enlighten us. Because I thought that...
Because there was no drug testing. We can't have a betting company if there's no drug testing, if there's no doping testing. Because I'm going to bet on Nak Music and he gets knocked out because Cassper was on steroids.
So what does SuperSport get out of it? Because I would have thought at a breakdown of money being made,
it was a broadcast. It was a broadcast.
They would have bought the rights to broadcast that. Well, I'm a sports person, and I know
No,
that when there's
no.
sporting events, they buy.
No, because the organizers have got good connections with the people at MultiChoice.
Mm-hmm.
The organizers is what's this guy's name? Tatoski. Yes, Vertex Events. They do like all the events. They used to do like all the events for like idols and stuff like that.
If what you're saying is true, then that's fucking dumb to fight or take that fight to Supersport if you're not gonna make money. Because I thought, you know what?
They were trying to make money. It was a
But
make money
I
quick
could
scheme.
easily, bro.
The whole entire
I
thing.
could easily take that to whichever channel that's gonna pay 2 or 3 million for it.
Which channel is going to pay for that?
Well, you convince them because there will be traffic.
For
For as long as you can be able to prove
okay,
that.
Supersport is the only people that can actually pay.
Yeah.
If they're going to pay, and if they pay you, they're gonna pay you what they pay for normal boxing bouts, right?
Yeah. But also,
Yes, 'cause
but
you've never done a boxing bout before.
You could argue the numbers from the first fight.
Okay, then find another satellite producer when we own the monopoly to all satellites in Africa.
Yeah.
Find one, and find when you find someone who's willing to offer you that price that you want, right? We'll equal it.
Here's what I imagined if I was in charge of that fight, without knowing the specifics of that particular fight, was that having seen what happened on Slick Talk and Cassper and the YouTube numbers, which I think they did go past the 100,000 live.
No tickets were being sold. That was just at a fight club gym.
Yo, you can still sell those 100,000 people watching live. I thought, and in my imagination, as I'm internalizing this, I was like, I could take Big Zulu, take Cassper, go to World Sports Betting and say, yo, there will be 100,000 eyes here. Give us $1 million, and they would have obliged.
Yeah.
You convinced them enough.
You would have done that, right?
Yes, I would
But
have done
Vertex Events is trying to make money off of the gig at Sun City and everything else. Why was everyone so sad the day after the fight? People were being chased out of their rooms, that they thought the rooms were booked. Their rooms weren't booked. Oh, now, you know what? Let's not even stay anymore. Let's just go, guys. Why? Because the things weren't properly organized. They're in debts right now. They're paying off people. They have to pay people that they owe, suppliers weren't paid and all this stuff. And these things that they will come out because people are unhappy about not being paid and they'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So you won't even be able to contain it. You'll be like, Nota's
So
hating
Nek,
and
you are
everything
saying
else.
Nek didn't receive his money?
Dog, if he received money, he would have shown us his prize winnings.
So just because it didn't show, are you taking
I'm
that
telling
based on-
you. I'm just saying. I'm saying that I would not confirm or deny who my sources are.
Okay.
Right? But what I'm telling you is this, is that should I be false? Let them show us what his prize money is. Let them show us the deposit or the check. The only person who's confirmed that they got paid is Slick Talk. The only person who's confirmed that they got paid. And I was the one who confirmed it. I said, I just want to confirm that Slick Talk got his 100K. Done.
I remember Slick Talk didn't want you on his team.
No.
What happened? Yeah, well, he shot a video.
No, he didn't.
Well, he shot a video.
It's content. I'm talking to Slick Talk. We're making the content as we're doing.
Call him now.
It's all entertainment.
Call him.
I'm not. Okay.
Call him now.
No. I'm not. I don't need to call him now.
Call him now.
No, I don't need to call him now. But I just no. Wait. I because of confidentiality, I can't say what the Slick Talk.
No. Just say hello. My name
can't.
is Nota.
Okay.
Yeah, what's good, nigga? Yo, what's good? This is Slick Talk, and I'm back.
No. I need to respect.
No,
I need to respect.
Call him and say,
No,
yo,
wait.
what's going on, man?
This is me and Slick Talk. This is our conversation. This is today, right?
Okay, no, there's no bad blood. Thank you. Because he shot the video and said, I cut
There's
Nota
no,
out of
yeah,
it.
but and then what? But he never cut me out of the deal.
I cut Nota out of it because he's gonna fuck this deal, and I
No,
know that
'cause
nigga
Cassper-
doesn't know how to control his mouth. And I said, you know what? I want this battle. It's 100,000. Fuck Nota. Yeah, the fight is on. I enjoyed that video.
That was content.
That's dope.
That was content. But what did he say in the beginning of that video?
I can't remember.
He apologized to Kamompela.
Is it?
Yeah, that's just all I asked of him. I said, yo, bro, I hear it, but let's focus on Cassper.
Sure.
Just apologize to Kamompela.
All right.
So-
you're in good terms with him.
We've always been on good terms. We've never been on bad terms. I'm advising him. I'm helping him. Commission free. I don't take a cut of anything. He took his whole entire 100,000. I didn't charge. I wasn't going to charge. I looked at the contract. I told him, this is the clause that needs to change. 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 All I did was make sure that he's protected. And that's it. And I assisted him.
Would you be in a fight?
I would not be in a fight. Why would I risk my brain cells? I'm a smart person.
You've given us the impression that you can punch a nigga as big as Stoggy T.
I didn't punch him. I didn't. He swung at me.
Yeah, and then
yes, no, I moved. I'm fast enough to avoid a fight. I wouldn't strike him. I don't want to catch an assault charge.
No.
It's stupid. No, I don't care. I would not. I don't need to fight.
No. I know. Like financially, you don't need to fight.
No,
you've made
mentally.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to fight. I don't need to get into the boxing ring. I was able to defeat Nyovest without ever fighting physically or anything else. Just strategically. You understand what I'm saying? Without his how many million followers does he have? 3 million or whatever. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. But I don't have that. I don't even have 1 million. I don't even have 50,000 followers. But how much influence do I have over him? Wow. That's big, dog.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But you wouldn't fight.
I wouldn't fight him. I wouldn't fight him, but
not him. I'm just saying
I wouldn't fight anybody physically. No. I wouldn't. No. I did it at a point in time, but now I can't. So that's why the good authority has come in, because I realized that, okay, now I've got influence. Now I've got power. I need to use that wisely. I cannot now be like a black coffee where I clap back at people with 10,000 followers or people who, are not even at my level of accomplishment.
Yeah.
I don't need to be doing that. If ever I punch up.
And you've consistently punched up.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't punch down. I won't, punch down on a dude or, hey, you're broke. Or, hey, we're in a different tax bracket or anything else like that. Because like some of those people that talk about tax brackets and everything else, whatever, they're just glorified sex workers. Let's be honest. Like our celebrity class, the women celebrities in this country, most of them are sex workers. If they have to sleep with producers, they have to sleep with whatever. If you see someone that's famous and it seems like they're getting ahead, you need to look, okay, who are they sleeping with at MultiChoice? Who are they sleeping with at SABC? Or who has influence there for them to get that bag and do it consistently and to be such a terrible presenter, but they're always getting the job when there are so many talented people.
Yeah, that's like one of the fights that I've been fighting.
You understand what I'm saying? Look at all the female sportscasters.
Yeah, yo.
You understand what I'm saying?
And the standard is very, and they do get gigs though.
And the standard is so now. Let me tell you something. If the number one a broadcaster on DSTV or whatever presenter or whatever, they're saying, oh no, so and so helped her because she slept her way to the top or whatever, she's married to a producer or whatever, and then the scandals come out. What about the ones who are just starting?
Yeah.
It must be even worse. If Robert Marawa is talking about it when he speaks to McG and he's not willing to name names and everything else, what is actually happening there? There's lots of couch casting that's going on there, and no one is talking about it. And again, like I'm saying, is that what does that say? It's saying to the young girl, Wena, you need to sell your body.
Yeah.
You understand? Because all the girls that we're seeing that are getting famous are either getting shat on in Dubai, getting boob jobs from guys or whatever, who then, after paying for their boobs, then they divorce or whatever, and all this types of stuff. You know what I mean? All of them are just selling their bodies, selling their beauty, selling their youth. Selling their youth. We don't have Abu Mamkoni, who are now coming up. You understand? Who's able to go from Black Panther to Gomorrah at the same time.
Yeah.
And be an international icon and everything else and still have the humility and be someone that you could look up to. Yeah, and the young girls are not celebrating Mamkoni the way they should.
Incredible humility. I remember,
you understand?
She even invited us to go and speak
to her.
You
understand?
Yeah.
Look at Tusombedu. Tusombedu has never bought Gucci in her life. She wears the most exclusive Gucci because Gucci gives it to her. You understand what I'm saying? If you have to buy Gucci, you don't have class. If you have to buy Louis Vuitton, you don't have class. You don't have class because rich people don't have to buy it. They get given it. The royal families, the really accomplished Trevor Noah, when he's wearing his Gucci at the awards, they made it for him. Gucci made it for him. Gucci is dressing him so that people who want to look rich can go and buy it at Diamond Walk. If you're at Diamond Walk, you're broke. Because if you're really rich, Diamond Walk comes to you.
You say some provocative shit sometimes.
It's the truth. The thing
We've
is that
spoken for 2 hours.
Some of us actually have got accomplishments
for
and
2
money.
hours.
So we get access to these things. We see these things.
We've spoken
So
for 2
yeah,
hours.
we could speak forever.
Yeah. I enjoy my conversations with you.
we could speak forever.
Yeah.
No, I'm
It's
just watching
stimulating.
DJ Maporisa here spinning his cars.
It's stimulating. It's stimulating to speak to someone who's bright, because some of the celebrities, as you say, you sit next to them and you speak, and they've accomplished profiles, but there's nothing there, as you always try to expose as well.
I'm
There's
trying to say
nothing.
that these people have just been put here so that they can influence you into the wrong things. They can't tell you how to value yourself. They can't give you guys confidence. Look at Owami Hlongwane. She's got 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Would she ever be on TV? No one would ever put her on TV. But right now, she's more influential than Nolene was. 3 Talk.
Oh yeah. And it's so beautiful to see the influence of digital creators, which are kicking the ass of people that are on television. Maybe last one from me to you. We'll continue having conversations, obviously, and I appreciate you coming here. Do you have any grand ambitions of shit that you want to do? I've been thinking about shooting movies and dropping them on YouTube, doing a sneaker brand that's different, blah 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 blah, for myself.
Yeah.
When do you have any grand ambitions that you're like, oh, I would like to do this shit in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, lots. Number one, I'm doing stuff in the energy sector.
Energy drinks or electricity?
Energy. No, batteries. Energy storage. Doing something in that. Doing something in also the motor manufacturing sector. So, basically, I'm getting into the automotive sector as well.
In what capacity?
Whew, I can't speak about it right now, but
Sure.
trust me, it's going to be nothing that threatens the current incumbents. It's a completely new opportunity. It doesn't threaten the current incumbents. So don't worry, Tesla. Don't worry, Rivian. Also, manufacturing, clothing, and everything else. I'm also getting more into that as well from a manufacturing side, not just from a brand licensing and marketing side of things. And basically, I want South Africans not to buy their clothes from Shein or this Chinese whatever, because it's bad for the environment as well. We need to create either biodegradable clothing or clothing that can last, more quality clothing. And then I also want to bring our clothing and sneaker manufacturing to South Africa. I'm not sure if I want to have my own sneaker brand, but
I think you should.
Maybe a sandal brand and a sock brand.
Yeah, just something springs up as you say now, as you speak now. There is some form of battle or contestation that is happening on digital media where people, Cassper and Nyovest fans, are saying a shop is stealing an idea for sneakers from Root.
Shandis is stealing from Drip.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, but you can't, because remember that those were originally designed from whatever factory in China. So it's not necessarily that the design is
imagine
an original
Cassper and Nyovest
idea.
fans, they stole the logo from Cartoon Network. They stole the Family Tree logo. None of the designs are original. All of them are, either taken from somewhere and everything else. So they're the last ones to talk. And when it comes to that, at the end of the day, if all of them are manufacturing overseas, they're all one and the same.
Yeah.
Because
you can actually literally just order plain
now
stuff
let me ask you a question. You see all these Drip billboards that are everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen.
Right?
Yeah.
All that advertising.
Yeah.
Now tell me, how many Puma sneakers do you see when you're outside?
More than the Drip.
How many Nike sneakers do you see when you're outside?
More than the Drip.
How many Asics sneakers do you see when you're outside?
I'm not sure if it's more than the Drip, but I think it's more.
Okay.
The training, people jogging and stuff like that.
So, are you telling me that those billboards, that advertising and everything else is resulting in sales? No. So, where's the marketing budget coming from? If the sales don't support the ad spend, where's the marketing budget coming from? You understand? It comes from I've got 22 stores, retail stores. that are in a separate company, not Drip. It's a property company, property management company, right? I'm saying that we, as the 22 stores of that, we're going to order this much Drip. I give you that paper. When you are taking that paper, where do you go? You go to IDC. Say, IDC, I'm going to manufacture this many sneakers. I've already got orders. These are the stores that are willing to support me. And then IDC says, okay, here is how much money. And then they give you the grant or whatever from the government. And my tax money ends up paying for billboards all over the street. Paying for manufacturing in China. The tax money that is supposed to help manufacturing in this country. And then I watch that and I say nothing about that. And then someone who's supposed to be working in a manufacturing job ends up finding me at the traffic lights with a gun to my head, wants to take my Mercedes Benz. Who do I blame? I blame myself because I didn't say, yo, my tax money shouldn't be going to manufacturing in China. It should be going to manufacturing in South Africa so that people can have jobs. So that when I get to the traffic light, the guy is there trying to help me instead of trying to dispossess me of my possessions, because the system is so unequal and so unfair that it's justifiable for him to steal from me or even take my life so he can have my possessions so he could feed his family for that day. And that is the problem that we're not seeing. We're not seeing that we're perpetuating the same system that's going to take from us. You understand? I drive on the same road that Slikour drives. So if Slikour is denying those jobs, trust me, the same risk of hijacking that I face because people are not working is the same risk that he faces. Is the same risk that the siblings of the people who work in the police force face when they're not addressing the crime. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not addressing it because why? Corruption is so rampant that I can come up with a scheme that is justifiable, that can allow me to qualify for getting government funds, and I don't actually need to qualify. I can flout it. I don't need to manufacture my goods here. I can flout it. I can put Drip in Proudly South African and a Proudly South African ad that plays on SABC1 to fool millions of South Africans into thinking that it's manufactured here. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the destructive nature of it. And us, because we are so happy, we're so eager to find black success and black champions, right? Now we must interview this person. They've come up with a whole entire scheme. And then you say, okay, we interview. I know I had a chicken business that failed. Why did your chicken business fail? How did it fail? Okay, this failed, this failed, this failed, this failed, this failed. Okay, how is this business actually successful? Are you reporting? Are you know what I mean? Can you show us the financials and everything else? Are you going to be a public company? Are you a public traded company? You got guys who make things like Disky Times and all this stuff. Takes them years, 5-6 years. You don't see them getting interviewed by every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
One day you're gonna say shit about it, Disky Times.
I can't.
You and
I can't. You see, the thing is that I can't say shit about Disky Times because it'll be like the theory of relativity. It won't stick. Because the shit that I'll say, people will test that shit and say, sorry, Disky Times wins. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing about me as well. People talk shit about me, right? And then I know that it's not gonna stick because I built this in solid.
Most of the shit that you've said have stood the test of time.
And that's it.
Nota Baloyi, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much.